Okay, we're live. So, this week, no Jose, but we've got me, Esther, and cool Alex Savas, and our special co-host for the week, Angela Hill.
Kitty. Hey!
Welcome to the show, Angie.
Thanks for having me.
So, first, before we get into all of the things, how was your weekend?
It's all right. It was fun. I don't know. It was a really long week. And then it felt good to finally get the fight over with and move on to the next thing, I think. But yeah, I'm still pissed. Of course I'm pissed. Even though this fight was a lot closer than the last one, I just feel so screwed over and over again by the judges. Like, if you look at my last 5 losses, 4 of those losses could have or should have gone my way. So it's just crazy to me to just keep racking up these fucking L's over and over again. It's just so annoying. So, but I think after a day of sulking, I've felt a lot better, and just seeing my teammates and my coaches and just brainstorming with them on how to get closer to finishing fights and how to even just be more convincing in the final round, just to convince the judges better. Because my last 2 fights, like, even though I did more work, I guess I wasn't convincing enough. Obviously, I wasn't convincing enough. That's why they scored it for the other girls. So I need to, when I punch, like, give them action sounds and, bam, zing, do stuff like that. And I don't know, just switch things up a little bit more, not just rely so heavily on my boxing. So, yeah. On to the next one. How's your weekend?
My weekend was okay, but I just wanted to just to reiterate for anyone who's joining the show now. This week, Jose is actually traveling to Woodley versus Covington.
Ooh.
So we have a all ladies cast of the A side. Our usual co-host Alex Savas. And myself filling in for Jose, and I should have put a cool accent over my name or something so that I could be a little more like Jose.
We're live, pal. We have to say it. We're live, pal.
Yeah, I should have said that. And then we've got Angie. So I actually just wanted to ask you a quick question about your house renovation.
Oh.
Before we get started into the fan questions, how is that going? Because it looks very involved.
Yeah, the house we bought, I live in San Diego and everything's super expensive here. So we were actually able to find something that was under $500 after we went and saw how much work the place needed. Like, the house that we bought, the guy who lived there, he died in the house. So it's an estate. What do you call it? It was an estate sale or whatever. Or no, somebody sold the estate. I forget what it's called, but it's a term when the owner dies and there's no one to pass the house down to. So they were able to sell it in his honor or whatever. So in his memory. So we were able to go to this house and check it out. And the guy who lived there, he hadn't updated it since it was built. So all the power sockets only had 2 prongs. They didn't have 3. So, so it was like crazy stuff like that. So we've just been renovating it for about 2 months. And now that my fight's over, I can actually go in there and do stuff myself. Like, I pulled my bicep, like pulling up carpet.
Oh no.
One day, like 2 weeks before my fight, I was like, fuck, I need to stop fucking around with this house. So I'm happy that I can finally, afford to injure myself while I renovate my house. And yeah, it's fun. It's nice. It's therapeutic. And I feel more proud of myself when I do it myself as opposed to just paying someone to do it. So yeah, it's been a fun little project so far.
Are you watching YouTube tutorials, or how do you How do you even know how to go about renovating a house?
I don't know. Like I start yanking at stuff, and then like anything I want to get rid of. Like the whole place was covered in carpet, but if you pulled the carpet up, it was beautiful hardwood floor underneath. So that was the first thing we did ourselves: was yank up all the carpet and pull the nails out of the hardwood and try to preserve the hardwood as much as possible. But then we watched a few tutorials on how to like finish the hardwood and wax it and sand it, and we're like, we're gonna pay someone to do that. So I can do the easy stuff like painting. I can handle taping off the edges and painting stuff and not getting paint everywhere. I can handle that. I try to stick to the easy ones.
Yeah. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun.
Yeah. And so now you are a homeowner.
Yeah.
Do you feel more like an adult?
Oh, yes. I read newspapers now with my cup. I feel more like a responsible adult. I feel more like a citizen, I guess, now that I have property and not renting. I'm still in my rental right now, though. Like, it's not ready to move in yet, so it hasn't really hit home yet that I'm a homeowner. But as soon as we get in there, like that's the one thing I was dreaming about my entire fight camp was just sitting on the porch. In a rocking chair, with a beer in my hand, and like Adam's in another rocking chair playing guitar, like just really cheesy homeowner fantasies.
Well, so the A-Side is like a live chat show, and we take fan questions from both our website and, well, actually from lots of sources, from all the social medias where people submit questions on Twitter, wherever, and also from YouTube. So why don't we get a question up and start answering some questions?
Cool.
All right. This is from YouTube. And we have Kuning says, Kimuras are quite rare nowadays, right? So can we make conclusion that nut shots are a good setup for those such things?
Oh man. Yeah, fake the nut shot, fall over, bait them into your side control or to top control, and then hit that Kimura. Oh, I felt so horrible for him. We were backstage warming up when that fight was going on, and and we saw the knees, and we're like, that doesn't look. Well, let's see the replay, because a lot of times you miss it. A lot of times the knee hits, like the knee will hit the stomach, but then the foot will flick up and hit the cup on the way up. And I'm like, okay, maybe something weird like that happened. But it was clean. There was like 2 clean knees, and I know how that feels. Like when I've been hit in the liver, like in training and stuff. Never happened in a fight, but I know how that feels when you get hit in the guts, and then it takes a second, and then you like crumble in pain. So I believe his story where he says he didn't know what happened. He just felt pain, and like guys have told me that you feel it in the groin as well. I wouldn't know, but yeah, that was horrible. Excuse me, I got a thing in my throat.
Yeah, I think Dan Step Over the Athletic tweeted chesticles because that knee seemed to go right up in his chest, and somehow
that the
ref called it nuts.
In your experience, Angie,
I'm not like a fan of that ref either. A lot of the fights that he's been reffing recently, I only pay attention because one of my teammates fought on August 22nd, and he almost murdered this guy. Like he dropped him, he kept hitting him, and the ref just kept saying fight back, and my teammate Dwight Grant, he gassed himself out trying to knock this guy out, and he survived. But then when the tables turned, because he was so gassed, the guy got up and just swung as hard as he could, dropped Dwight a couple times, but like it still looked like he was in the fight. And so I always felt like that ref, like he'll like kind of pick a side, and then he'll give one side a long time to recover, but he won't give the other side the same benefit of the doubt. So after that fight, I've been paying attention. Every time I see him reffing, I'm like, and then he just totally screwed up with this fight. Like, I don't know if you're allowed to look at the replay as a referee, but that definitely should have been brought to his attention, the fact that it wasn't a nut shot. Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird one.
In your experience, like what chance do you think Rodriguez has as overturning this loss? Do you see that happening for him?
If anyone has a chance, it's him. Like, I remember when, who was it? It was an Invicta fight, and there was an arm, Tanya Evinger. She was going for that
Tanya
arm,
Evinger and Yana.
And Yana. She was in an arm bar, and she put her knee on Yana's face to break her arm free. And the ref was like, no, don't knee the face. And she wasn't like hitting her with her knee. She was just using the pressure of her knee to free her arm. And then when she stopped doing that, she got armbarred immediately after. So she was able to get that fight overturned, which I thought was really fair because the referee totally interrupted the flow of the fight. So I feel like he definitely has a chance of getting that overturned. It'd be ridiculous if he couldn't. Like, it's so clear. It's so easy to prove. Like, yeah, the referee fucked up, and that's why it should be at least a no contest, if not a knockout. So yeah, hopefully he's able to rectify that. But if not, people will remember, oh, this was one of those weird instances where he didn't really lose.
Right. In some ways, I feel like fighters who are just competing for like any way to get your name in the headlines, win or lose, sometimes that's, gaining followers, sometimes even more important. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah, I don't even care about losing anymore. It's like fucking like nobody cares about like my record anymore. But I do think that it makes a big difference when you don't have that many losses on your record. Like, imagine if that guy was undefeated and then that was his whole shtick. Like, I'm undefeated, I have all these knockouts, and then you take that O away from him. That's a big selling point for him. So I don't remember what his record is, but I don't think he has like maybe 2 losses or 3 losses. Like, it sucks. It sucks to do that because that's your permanent record. And anytime you get a loss, that's you getting part of your, I guess, not marketability, but that's your stock going down. You know what I mean? So, not in the short term, but in the long term, when people don't remember, oh yeah, that guy didn't lose that fight. They're just going to be like, oh, he's something and something. Like, he shouldn't be fighting for a title or this or that. But yeah, I don't see that happening in this case because it's so obvious and it was on such a big stage that everyone saw it happen, and Dana White made a huge deal about it. So people will remember, oh yeah, that was stupid and that ref sucks.
well, but what would you do if the ref kind of favored you in that situation, like thought that you got poked in the eye or something or whatever, knee in the groin?
And I didn't. I'm not that type of fighter, man. I know everyone says, oh, I would never do that, but I really wouldn't do that. Like, there's a photo of me getting a spinning back kicked, like right in the fucking cooch, like right in the vagina. There's a photograph of that. And I still think back, like, man, that was a close fight. Maybe I should have milked it. Maybe I should have acted like it hurt me. So like they at least knew that when I fell over, it was a groin shot. So they shouldn't count it on the scorecards or something. Like, maybe if I get a replay, they're not going to be like, oh, she got knocked over. Like, they'll be like, oh, she got hit in the crotch. Like, that sucks. Give her a second. And then I could have gone back and won the round. But yeah, I've just never been like that. In the heat of the moment, I never milk the fouls or act like something happened that it didn't. I guess I'm just so honorable and so respectful of martial arts.
So we got a question from the YouTube comments related to this. And Angie, you probably might be more poised to answer this, but Captain Sucksman would like to know, nuts. Even though groin strikes are illegal for both men and women, why does it seem like only the men get groin struck?
I think we have a smaller target.
Yeah.
For like where
I would
the
say
really
it's a smaller target.
Yeah. Like
we don't have something hanging off.
Yeah. We have protection. Like you gotta get up in there. Like it has to be like right at the right moment where it's like whoop and then boom, you know.
Yeah. It's less likely that we're gonna get a stray toe, like Angie was saying earlier. Sometimes it's not even the knee or whatever. You knee someone and the bottom of their foot flicks up and hits the cup or something. Mm-hmm. That's not an issue.
Yeah,
necessarily for
because we don't
wearing
dangle.
A cup that sticks out. So
well, most of us, some of us dangle. You know.
Oh my
God. You know what? Everybody's different. Everybody's different. Everyone's bodies are different, but for the most part, almost you might even say sometimes actually the cup is like a thing to hit. You know, because it's like sticking out or whatever. So it was weird because just over the weekend there were so many nut shots this past weekend, and it was crazy that the biggest story. We lost Angie for a second there.
Oh,
not sure. Oh, okay. The biggest story this weekend was a nut shot that didn't actually happen. Whereas on, did we get her back?
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you anymore. So.
I don't know why.
Oh, no,
you're gone. Taking us out. Shut it down. This show is canceled.
I'll just take over. Okay, here we go.
Hey.
The internet seems to only not work when I have to do this. So.
Of course.
Shoot, what was I talking about?
You said the biggest story of the weekend was a nut shot that wasn't actually
nut shot. That didn't actually land because we still had over in Bellator 2 fights were non-contests due to groin shots.
Yeah.
2.
Dang. I only saw the one. I saw the one where it was the guy that I always forget his name, but the guy who beat Wonder Boy.
Oh, Raymond Daniels with a spinning back.
Oh my God, that was so sad. Yes, Raymond Daniels. He's dope,
so
man.
Painful.
Oh
yeah,
that was horrible.
And then Peter Stanonik, his opponent, was just like, I think the worst part about it was hearing him cry, just fetal position on the canvas crying. I was just like, wow, that is the most pain I've ever heard anybody in inside.
Yeah. And he wasn't upset either, or not upset, but he wasn't like angry. Like Daniels went over and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and he's like crying, and he goes, "Oh, it's all good, man." Oh, you know. I don't know why that made me laugh, but I felt so bad for that guy. Like it was just. It's probably the worst nut shot in history to have it happen in succession like that, and for it to be like those, I don't know, just such powerful. Oh, I lost you guys. Oh no, I didn't. Yeah, just such powerful kicks, one after the other, and he probably shouldn't have kept fighting. Like you could tell that he was already messed up, or he was still messed up from the first one, but he wanted to fight. You know, he really wanted to fight. Yeah. And like as he's getting ready to start again, we're like watching it, like, oh man, he's not ready yet. Like he needs another second. He needs to bounce a little longer. Like you could just see it in his posture, and literally like right as they started again, bam. It was so painful to watch. And I think somebody was saying like, oh, it's going to happen again. Like one of the commentators or something, or maybe one of my one of my teammates, but we were watching it and we're like, oh man, wouldn't it suck if that happened again? And it was like literally 2 seconds after that was said, it happened again. And poor guy, it looked like he got shot in the crotch with a shotgun. It was horrible.
Ooh, that's a good segue into another question. I think we could probably take a non-groin related question. If Casey can pull one up here.
It's all about nuts.
All right. So we've got underrated welterweight fighters from the site. Corey T. Bear wants to know, welterweight is a deep division right now, and due to being sidelined, I feel like Santiago Ponzinibbio is being overlooked. He is on a 7-fight win streak with wins over Neil Magny, Gunnar Nelson, and Mike Perry. Who do you think he should fight when he returns? I actually don't remember why he's sidelined. He had a surgery or COVID? Kind of one or the other right now.
Oh, man. Taking everyone out, those two. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know much about that guy. Yeah.
But yes, he is a very solid. He was on a 7-fight win streak, and things were going really well for him. So it is quite unfortunate. But welterweight's just one of those divisions where actually there's kind of a lot of people kind of like squished at the top in like a mass from like 2 to 10, you know?
Yeah.
There's just a lot of good ones. I mean, right now, this weekend, we have a welterweight main event coming up, and it's just, and they're not, they're both former champs. So it's like, you just see how many people are waiting at the top to get another shot, you know? So
yeah. I'm wondering, is Vicente Luque that's the same weight class, right? Welterweight. I think that's the guy who mashed up Mike Perry's nose the first time.
The first time, yeah.
He started it. That guy is sick. He just came off of a knockout against Randy Brown, and I think that would be a really good matchup for him. That guy's just a knockout artist as well, and kind of flying under the radar in the same way. Even though he's just racking up knockouts left and right. So I think that'd be a good matchup. I'd watch it.
I'd watch it. It's my first question of like underrated welterweight. It's almost hard to answer because I don't feel like there are a lot. Like you said, like I'm looking at the top 15 rankings and it's just like it's stacked. And I don't think anyone is kind of flying under that radar. Everybody kind of has that big name recognition, or if you put any two together, I mean, it's kind of a banger. So
yeah.
Oh, I realized. Okay, yeah, it was an injury because he was supposed to fight Robbie Lawler last December and then got injured. So he's actually been out for a while. So Santiago,
oh, wow.
We got Jason Correa saying that Santiago was right there for title contention, but way too many injuries and too inactive.
Oh, poor guy.
Oh, all right. Well, that sucks. But yeah, there are way too many people. It's funny that the person who asked the question said, underrated welterweight Santiago Ponzinibbio, and mentioned his win over Neil Magny. And I'm always thinking how Neil Magny is a super underrated welterweight.
Yeah, for sure. No, I definitely agree. I think it's his style. It's very like workman-like style. So he doesn't have the big flashy knockouts all the time. But he's just so good at figuring people out and finding ways to win and just exploiting people's weaknesses. So you can never count Neil out of a fight. Like he's always got something to give for like the top 5 guys in the division, and he feels like one of those people that eventually they're gonna get the title shot. Just after 2 like big name wins. He's always like right there, I agree.
Yeah.
With Magny. Big bro.
I feel like it's gonna end up having to be like it's gonna be ending up like one of those John Fitch situations where you just gotta win like 20 fights in a row and finally.
Yeah. Exactly. I guess you earned it.
Nick Lolo Dice or Lolo Dice? Not sure, but says, I'm pretty sure that for Angie, you do a great job on the analyst panel. I look forward to seeing you on it more. What's been the hardest part of analyzing and talking about fights?
Man. Thank you, Nick. I think the hardest part is not saying too much. When just doing the research, I think knowing the people who are lesser known is a tough part, because you don't have the millions of interviews. You haven't been introduced to them over and over again during fight nights where they have like the background story. So a lot of the research that you have to do for the newer fighters and for the I guess the fighters who haven't had that much press is like, I don't know. I feel like a detective, trying to figure out what gym is this guy at, and who did he fight beforehand, and what was his amateur, or what were his fights like outside of the UFC. So I think that's probably the hardest part. And then just making it common knowledge, like being able to rattle off information about these people on the spot and not have to think about it too hard. But yeah, once I get to know the people, like I honestly feel like I'm looking these people up and figuring out who they are and getting to know them. Yeah. Once I get to know them, then it makes it a lot easier to just talk about them freely, as if I was talking about one of my teammates or myself, So yeah, I think that's the hardest part, but I figure a way around it.
Do you ever find it's difficult to criticize fighters publicly as an analyst? Are you ever worried that they're gonna be mad at you?
Oh yeah. I have to look at these people in the eye. I see them on a daily basis almost. So it's definitely hard. I don't know how Dom is able to like commentate during teammates' fights. Like, I think that's insane. I could never do that. I'd be so biased. Just be like, what is it? Why are they looking at them? What is it? He's fine. Why'd they stop the fight?
I think Dom maybe has the advantage of caring what people think of him a little less than everyone else.
Yeah, he definitely he's definitely pretty upfront with his opinions on things. But I worry about it a little bit, but I just started, so I think the more I do it, the less I'll care, and people will not care about what I'm saying as well. So, but yeah, I still get mad at people. Mm-hmm. Like I'll hear a commentator say something about me while I'm fighting. I'm like, fuck that guy, for like a good year, until they say something nice. And then I'm like, all right, I guess they're all right. Then they say, fuck it up again. I'm like, fuck him. It's all about balance.
Yeah. Did you ever ask Dom for any advice on how to do the gig, or?
Yeah, when I first told him about it, he gave me his little pointers on what to do, or not what to do, but on I guess the steps that he usually takes when he's looking at fights. Like, just research is the main thing. Research, make sure you know what you're talking about. Don't try to just go in there and freestyle it. Like, do your research, know your facts, know the lesser known fighters, because that's where you can really educate people. And and I've heard this from a lot of people, but Dom as well. Just giving them information that as an analyst you wouldn't have, but as a fighter you would have. So if I know something about, like, recovering from injuries, or something about like working with certain teammates that person knows, or if I actually train with that person, all of that is insider information that they bring me in specifically for, because I'm a fighter. So I have to remember, I didn't go to journalism school. I'm not there to be like an analyst. I'm there to be the fighter perspective. So ham that up a bit. And that always helps, because then I'm like, oh, it lets me relax a little bit. I feel less like I'm pretending to know what I'm doing. I'm just talking like a fighter. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
We do have a non-fight related question that popped up. From Cynthia Vance. What's the most addicted to a game you've ever been. And so I'm actually going to ask Alex Savas first, because I'm going to start from left to right here on the screen. Do you play games, and are you at all addicted to any?
I don't anymore, but when I was a kid, the game was 007 Nightfire on PlayStation 2. I was so addicted. I didn't even own the game. It was like back in like Blockbuster days when you could like rent the video game disc. And I was like constantly like going back to renew it. And I remember coming home from school once, and I looked at my mom at the kitchen table, and I was like, I just had the urge to kill someone today. And I think she got like super concerned from that. I'm like, Mom, I'm talking about 007, like duh. I would love to play that game now, because I'm sure the graphics are just like god awful, but for some reason I couldn't take my eyes off that game.
That's so funny.
The old 007 games or so.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the only one I remember.
So good.
Yeah.
I don't even know, like, I wasn't even a 007 fan.
I think it's warranted.
Yeah.
You have to get back on that 007.
But you are a fan of killing people, apparently.
I love it, yeah.
Isn't Counter-Strike, isn't that a lot of that about knifing people? Maybe you can get into that.
Well, and then the next one was like Grand Theft Auto, I think. Like San Andreas was, I think, this big video game that everyone was like obsessed with. And it was the same thing. I never played the missions. I just went around rampant and just went on killing sprees.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Like how many stars I can get.
I am not sure. You can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm curious as to whether we should like disconnect and then reconnect, and then maybe play some music for our viewers and see if disconnecting and reconnecting will magically make this happen. Okay? So 1 second. We're just going to go on a quick 30-second break.
Oh, everything got switched up.
I'm Mr. Lynn.
We all wish we could be Esther Lynn.
For real.
I'm sorry, Esther. All the now the eCam won't reconnect to. I only get Alex for everybody.
No.
Oh, yeah, I've noticed that too. So yeah, I'm actually gonna have to have Alex hang up and then dial back in.
Okay.
This is so high tech.
I'm so sad that it's not working very smoothly right now.
Yeah, I wonder why.
It only seems to ever happen when I'm.
No.
We're live again. How?
Oh man.
Turned out it didn't work. So thought it would, but it didn't help. But that's all right. We still have more questions. So
Yeah. Let's do it.
let's answer some more questions instead. And I'm gonna actually have to have Casey tell me what question he's asking because. Oh no! We need to finish the last question.
Okay, yeah, we're still in the Cynthia Vance. We have a user named Cynthia Vance. She looks very weird in this photo. I don't know if that's a real person. Seems more like some sort of caricature. But yeah, some Cynthia Vance. Yeah, this is. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, very small. I think this is an actual picture of a troll on the avatar. Right. Okay.
So, Angie. Wow.
So rude.
Oh, hell. What is a game you've been most addicted to?
Dude, I have so many. Like as she was answering, I'm just like, oh man, which one is the least embarrassing? I think well, the very first game I got super addicted to and didn't tell any of my friends was a game called Sept on Super Nintendo. Oh, when I was a kid, I don't know why I got obsessed with this game. It was basically like a ant simulator, and and the whole goal was to like make a really strong. Like you start off as the queen, and you find a place to burrow your ant farm. Laying eggs, and then like the first ant is born and you get to choose whether it's a worker or a soldier or a drone, and then the whole thing is you have like this caste system, and it was really intricate for like a Super Nintendo game. You would like attack spikes and stuff, and I probably beat the game like 10 times. So I was really obsessed with that, and it was one of those games where like when your friends come over to play games, you like rip it out of the console and put Mario Kart. Like, oh yeah, don't mind me, just put it in the game that I play all the time. So yeah, I think that was the first one.
That's better than I hoped for.
Yeah, so no. I wish I had heard of that game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun.
I like your train of thought though. You were like, well, what can I say that's the least embarrassing?
If that's the least embarrassing.
I feel like I'm.
Yeah, that was definitely probably.
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty good actually, because mine, like I get made fun of by Casey all the time because we have a PS4 and we've had it for a couple of years, and there are so many games out for it, and I pretty much only play Monster Hunter. So.
Aw, that's a good one though. It's like a cool one.
Dorky, and pretty much just my friend Andrew told me that he thinks most people just play it for fashion, which is true, because you might pretty much just excel in the game so you can get benefits.
That's so many games though. Destiny, that's like the whole concept. Is like you're just playing until you get like metal, the armor, or like the weird like neon color. Like there's a lot of games that are just like grind so you can get this like really cool looking sword that does exactly the same thing as another sword. But looks cool.
But it looks cooler.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
makes it worth it. Yeah, I got a bunch, but I don't want to choke up the stream.
What are you playing right now?
I'm actually trying to figure out what I'm gonna dive into right now. I started playing Ghost of Tsushima, and I kind of got into it, but then I let Adam start playing it because I was like, I had to learn how to play the UFC game. So I let him play in that game. But yeah, right now I'm playing EA UFC 4, which is it's pretty good. It's definitely better than 3. I'm starting to get the controls better, but it's still like you're working like you're in a suit, like in a mech or something, like one of those Power Ranger like battle swords or something.
Yeah.
And you're just pulling levers, and you don't know any of the right levers, so you're like, okay, kick, and they like go for a takedown, and you're like, what are you doing? So I'm still figuring it out. But it's pretty fun. It's fun. Just nonstop until one of you fall over. It's pretty realistic when you go with the heavyweights. So yeah, it's been pretty fun. And what else am I playing?
That sounds pretty fun, and I have a really great image in my head of you inside a mech suit.
Yeah.
Just pulling levers and trying to get it to do what you want it to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Me and Angela Mech. God. Hitting buttons. Eject. That's when I rage quit.
I'm going to have Casey bring up another question, but I'm going to need him to tell me what the question is because I can no longer read them. So.
I'm Esther Lynn. Our next question is from Sandy Pham. That was my impression of Esther. Nailed it. Sandy Pham asked, Angela.
Oh, pretty good.
Thanks.
Nailed it.
Angela, which fight are you looking forward to seeing when you are in Abu Dhabi?
Oh man, there's a lot of good ones. I think obviously I'm most looking forward to Adesanya versus Costa. I think it's just such a cool stylistic matchup when you do like the precision versus power kind of things. It's going to be interesting to see how Adesanya deals with Costa's pressure. It's going to be interesting to see if Costa eats a bunch of shots coming in, so it should be a really, really exciting fight. So I'm looking forward to that one. And what else is there? There's a lot of good fights on the prelims, I think. I know Loma Lookbunmi is fighting Jinyu Frey, I believe, on either this card or the October one. And then Home Aldana is slated for October 3rd as well. So I'm really excited for Aldana. I think Home is the perfect test for her, and I really think that Aldana has a chance of getting to that title shot with her last knockout of Caitlin Vieira. Like, that girl is on a tear. So I'm excited to see what that matchup looks like. I guess I'm kind of biased towards the women. I see the matches, I'm like, ooh, this is going to be interesting, and excited for Jinyu Frey making it into the UFC. She's an Invicta fighter. Invicta girls have been doing pretty good lately in the UFC. So, yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, this past weekend there were, four Invicta fighters on the card. For the two women's bouts. So.
Yeah.
Although for me, I actually would have given Aldana the title shot just because bantamweight doesn't have a ton of contenders at the top, and then Caitlin Vieira, and Kellen was just one of those fighters that makes everybody look bad. So the fact that Aldana was able to even finish her and be impressive was to me, should have been enough to get her that title shot. And mostly just because also, what happens if Holly Holm wins? Were you going to give her a third, fourth? How many title shots, you know? So, I mean.
Yeah, I'm trying not to throw too much shade because, you know, I'm just going to sound bitter because Jackson's fighters are all fucking assholes. But, you know.
Well, I mean, Holly, to be fair, Holly is like the sweetest person alive, but yeah, but that, aside from that shouldn't, being super nice shouldn't also determine whether you get a title shot. So
yeah, I feel like people think because I call everyone bitches and hoes that I'm not nice. We're all pretty nice. I think we're all pretty nice.
Instead of realizing that you're just
calling them bitches and hoes. Oh, I guess all my friends way worse. But yeah, I think just her style of fighting is not fun to look at, and I think but I also think that it's good to know how to fight that style, because let's say Aldana does get the title shot and she wins, and then her first match is against Holly Holm, and you know, if she can't get past that type of person who is just so good at playing the game and so good at like just smothering people and then picking their shots and getting in and out, if you can't deal with that, then she's gonna lose that title. And once you get the title shot, I feel like it's really hard to get another one after you lose it. Like you can have like an immediate rematch, but if that doesn't happen, like look at Joanna, she got her rematch and now, or she got her title shot, and now that she doesn't, how long is it going to take for her to get back in title contention? Just because people are like, oh, you already had the title, we want to see somebody else. Like, yeah, get out of here, you're old news. Yeah. So I think it's good to go in there fully prepared for anything, and the more you fight, the more that's going to happen. So I think Aldana should do all right against Holly. I think it'll be, if anything, a good lesson for her if she isn't able to deal with that. But I think she's ready, and I think if she can deal with Holly's tactics, then it's just going to make her even more ready for the champ.
All right.
Okay. Angela, are you there? How many weeks are you going to be down in Fight Island? Are you going to be there the entire like 4 fight cards, or 3 fight cards?
I think I'm going to be there 2 weeks. So I get there, I leave on the 19th and I come back the 4th. So I think it's 2 weeks.
Okay, so
wait, is the 19th, is that Saturday?
Yeah, I'll be leaving this weekend, but I'm doing the card that's the next week. And then the week after that. So September 26th and October 3rd are the cards that I'm going to be working.
And when do you head back?
Cool.
October 5th.
October 5th? Oh man, so you're not gonna be there for oh, that's too far away. I'm already thinking Habib Gaethje's like this month, but I forget we have a I'm already excited. I was like, oh wait,
when is that?
It's October 24th. In my mind I thought it was September 24th, so never mind.
I thought October 24th.
Yeah. That's on the island?
Yeah. It's way down there.
Cool.
Yeah, that's on the island too. That's the last show on the island.
That's dope, man. So, I'm excited for that one.
Although I would really love calling it an island, because it's not really an island, but okay.
Is it not an island?
It's barely an island.
Sand dumped into water.
Yeah, you know, it's just that it's like it's like a man-made island. You know, it's about as much of an island because it's got like 10 feet of water around it, but it's not really. You know, it's not really.
It's just a piece of land with a moat.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I'm kind of excited because I was really
okay.
jealous I didn't get to fight on Fight Island.
Yeah.
Everyone going there, it looked like they were going to like Jurassic Park or something, you know? Like, oh, I think somebody did a really funny edit, so that's stuck in my head. But it just looks like this crazy adventure. Everyone's showing up on this island, this place, and fighting each other. And you get there, and everyone's in hazmat suits, like that scene in E.T. And then you're quarantined, and you're roughing it in your fancy hotel room, and I don't know. It just seems like a fun story to tell. So I'm excited. I get to go there without the pressure of having to beat someone up. I just get to go and chill and enjoy fights.
No, that is nice, and it is actually a very nice hotel. I've stayed there a couple times. It's
oh, really? Okay, I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's an understatement. That hotel is awesome.
Our first trip out to Abu Dhabi, like 12 years ago. Yeah, it's like a 7-star hotel. It's very fancy.
Whoa. I'm gonna be so spoiled.
Yeah.
So
then I have to fly back to the Resident Inn. with crickets in the bathroom. Cricket farm hotel.
Cricket sim.
Lots of crickets.
So this is so when me and Esther went to Abu Dhabi,
like a Monster Hunter place.
Yeah. Oh my God! You got to go to Tokyo and go to the Monster Hunter bar.
Yeah. I missed out on that. Yeah, I missed out on that last time I went.
I'll say also when you go to Abu Dhabi, and I'm not sure if it'll be open yet. I'm gonna just interrupt before Casey says one more thing. The water is highly recommended.
Ooh.
But bring water shoes because your feet will get burned. But man. I highly recommend the water park.
Yeah, I haven't been to a water park in so long.
I'm pretty sure that's outside.
And you got to bring friends because some of the rides, some of the things require a couple of people. Is it outside the bubble? I thought it was in the bubble. Because I thought the whole bubble is all of Yas Island, which is not very big. So.
Nope.
All right. Fine.
Lame.
Well,
I could drive race cars.
Fine.
Though.
No bubble, but yeah, bubble.
Oh,
any more questions, Casey? If you want to read them to me because I still can't see them.
Yeah. This quote, I'm not gonna read it, but it's from Joe White. It's for Angela. But did you? I know every fighter gets this question, but I'm still interested in the answer from you. What do you think about no fans versus fans? You know, that the adrenaline, or maybe I don't know. How is it fighting 25 minutes and just hearing corners and no one yelling "you suck" or "kill him" or whatever?
I don't mind it at all. I think if anything, it makes you more in the zone. Something. Well, I guess it doesn't happen that often to me, but a lot of times if nothing's really happening and you start hearing the woos or you start hearing like people booing, then it can make you get going before you're actually ready, or just do something it can make you like act impulsively when you shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like it'll make you just like be reckless just because you're like, oh shit, this fight is boring. Let me get a little reckless real quick. And that's always a good time for your opponent to like, you know, capitalize. So I think, I don't know. I really don't mind not having it there. But it's really kind of jarring when you walk out of the cage and no one's there, you know, like it's almost like when you're fighting, you can almost hear the crowd because you've been in there so much with the crowd. So like if I land a big punch, I can hear them go, oh, or maybe it's just like, you know, commentators, or maybe it's like our corners going, you know, after a big strike happens, or, you know, a takedown or something. But when you walk out, it's almost like a surprise, like, oh shit, there's no one here, you know. Like you're so in the zone, like from the second you got to the workout room to the moment you're in the cage and fighting, that as soon as like it's all said and done and you look around and there's nobody there, it's kind of anticlimactic. And I think because both of my fights were losses, it was even more anticlimactic, because it's like they're like, okay, get your shit, get out, you know. Like, there's no interviews or photos or anything like that. Like they only do that for the winners. So yeah, it's just a little strange when the fight's over, when you can actually pay attention to that stuff and you're not just trying to block it out and stay focused and keep your eye on the prize. So yeah, I think that's the worst part, is just leaving and not seeing anyone, no one clapping you out, no one like shaking your hand. Like it is like the only fan connection that we get after we fight is on the internet, and that can be a cesspool. Like fans in person are so gracious and so dope, and I know, right? Like fans in person are the best people. I've never had anyone say shit to me in person or be rude or just not be appreciative of the fact that we went on the show. But online is like the total opposite. So I just because it makes you appreciate the sport and appreciate the fact that you're putting so much into it, when you see the looks on their faces, when just being able to touch their hand, you know, just they're so excited and they're so happy to take a photo with you, like inappropriate fist pose with you and stuff. I think those interactions really bring home like why it's such a cool thing to be doing. So I do miss that part. But in the fight, like I don't even notice.
When was the last time you took?
We've got 2 Twitter questions we didn't get to. So
2 Twitter questions. Those. Okay.
Casey, can you hear me?
Yeah,
we have 2 Twitter questions we didn't get to. So at some point we need to get to them, because we can't ask for questions and then not show them.
They're right there, Esther. Can you read it?
I know, but I can't see your screen, so you gotta tell me who it's from.
I can see it.
This is from at Mr. Stationary Fan.
Oh, okay. I got this one. Okay. Question for Angela. A main event is a big deal. What other MMA milestones are you expecting to reach for your legacy?
Hey, I still feel like the title fight is within arm's reach. I think the way the straw division is right now, the people who are winning and losing a lot, you know, just because a lot of us are very evenly matched. A lot of us are, you know, just good at what we do. But as soon as one person gets like 2 knockouts in a row, 2 finishes in a row, then everyone's saying, oh man, this person should fight for the title. Just even Rebus, you know, she fought Paige Van Zandt at 125, but I think most people are pretty sure that she's a strawweight contender, you know, just because of her last couple of wins. So I think it's a really whoever gets those matchups and whoever's able to dominate, I think it's a really quick rise to the top. So that's why I got to get better at finishing, because the finishes, even if I won those decisions, they're still not making me stand out as much as a finisher. Is someone who goes in, they get some knockouts, they get some submissions, like first round, like that's who people end up talking about. So I think just working towards that, working towards being a quick finisher, just a more dangerous fighter. I feel like if I get 2 or 3 finishes in a row, then that's an easy shot right up to the title shot. And it's not going to be easy, but I definitely feel to do it. I feel like I've shown it in my last 7 fights. I feel like I've shown that I'm definitely contender worthy. It's just a matter of me getting those finishes and not going to decision every time, or at least dominating so much that the judges will give me a couple rounds. They'll give me 3 rounds if I dominate 5 rounds. I think, you know, and in doing that, I'll end up getting finishes that way too if I just focus on dominating throughout the fight. So I definitely want to be the next or one of the next champions. Sooner than later, but like, hey, look at Holly Holm. She's almost 40, I think, and she's still like number 2 in her weight class, and she's always gonna be number 2 until the other girls start catching up to her skill wise. So I definitely feel like I have time. I'm not in a rush, and I'm happy that I've shown even in my losses that I can hang with the best and that I can hurt the best. I can mash up the faces of the best, you know. And come
that's
out
the most
pretty
important
on
part.
the other side.
Smashing
Yeah,
faces.
exactly. Yeah, best part is like keeping that money maker looking good. So yeah, I definitely want to be champion. It would be great to be one of the staples in the commentary teams and the analyst teams, like DC is, like Dom is. I think that would be studying and practicing just to make myself a better speaker when the camera's on. And all of those things are goals for me. Maybe be in a Black Panther movie one day.
Oh my God.
Another goal for my legacy.
Awesome.
Yeah, I want to be one of the Dora Milaje.
I feel like you could do that. I remember when they were casting for Wonder Woman, there was like a CrossFitter.
Yeah, I remember that, and I was jealous. I'm like, they didn't call me.
Yeah, I love that they hired real athletes. Like it could happen. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That was awesome, and they all look great too, like in their costumes, just like it was real muscle. It was really cool to see.
Yeah, I think it can happen, and let's just say it's gonna happen. So we do have a fight coming up this weekend, so I'm gonna ask Kate to put up the last question so we can sign off soon from the seaside if you can.
Yeah, that's okay. I got that up right now.
Can you?
The seaside.
From the seaside.
Okay.
When we read it, Esther?
And the question is, are you more hyped for... No, I got it. Are you more hyped for Woodley versus Covington fight or the press conference? And I'm going to just go ahead and not even let my co-host answer here. And I'm going to say, obviously, not the press conference. I am super not looking forward to that. It goes straight to the fight. But that's just me because I'm tired of it. How about you, Alex?
Normally, I love the press conferences. I'm a big fan of the drawing at each other, the trash talk. But for this one, it's dancing along some lines I don't really like. The whole narrative about like, you know, the MAGA thing and I don't want to go there and I don't want to see what comes of it. So let's
oh man, you guys know my answer. It's such a stupid shtick.
Yeah.
I always thought that it's smart to go the other way, like to be like this like Hotep Ange, you know. And just like totally go the other way of whatever Covington's trying to do with his MAGA thing. But I'd like to skip to the fight. And I really want to see what Woodley looks like. I think it's a scary matchup for him after his last two after his last loss. I feel like for the athleticism and for the skill that they're both going to show because fighters should stick to fighting, not politics. No. I like him more as a fighter. But I guess
in this case, I will say.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I totally agree. No. I was just going to cut us off and sign out. But is there anything else you want to share before we leave? Is there something? Otherwise, I'm just going to say thank you for calling in and being our co-host for the day.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Always happy to help.
Thank you so much. Yay! Thank you so much to Alex, and thanks to all the fans who stuck with us through some of the technical difficulties we're having. Tune in to this podcast. You can actually hear it recorded on iTunes, Spotify, all the places you would normally. So this is Esther Lynn for the A-Side with Alex Savas and Angela Hill, and we're out.